Why won't you open up to me? How can we be in love if you hold back?
If you've ever been in a relationship with a female, ever wondered why all you need for your contentment with her is good company and sex, while by contrast, she's not as content and tends to need more and more from you, why she'll complain you're not quite open or vulnerable enough, why the relationship has to always be going somewhere. Ever wondered where that somewhere is, figuratively speaking? Well, it suddenly hit me like a ton of bricks, and it pissed me off. I don't think you'll like it either. Firstly, let me just add that this little insight I had about why I think women unconsciously push for more and more vulnerability from men could only have come about from the important insights of other great MGTOW content creators doing the hard work of peeling back the layers themselves. In this case, from COLTTAINE and COTERIE's recent videos. I mention this mainly to signify the importance of returning to that renaissance of MGTOW philosophy, ideas and knowledge, rather than the popular bitching about women that is rife online today. This kind of philosophy, the kind of philosophy that was the fertile ground that allowed me to find my insight here in this video. So guys, start creating good content so we can all benefit from it. And speaking of, let's get back to COLTTAINE and COTERIE's recent videos that spurred an insight in me. Links in the low bar. Okay, a little setup first. So in the case of COTERIE's video, The Pathogenesis of Vulnerability, COTERIE described men's desire to be vulnerable to women and women not only lapping it up, but casually demanding it as a condition to intimacy with them, i.e. both parties are euphoric around manifesting this vulnerability dynamic. Men love the womb-like female validation that being open and vulnerable to another woman gives him, and she feels heightened when he surrenders to her in this way. Her biology feels a sense of maternal euphoria as a result of this childish vulnerability, so she keeps pushing for more and more from him.
Throw me more vulnerability heroin,
her biology demands. The never-ending fetish and euphoric freefall of surrendering all to her, and both of you get off on it, both of you. Keep that sick dance between men and women in mind, gentlemen. And so then we come to COLTTAINE's video, Occam's Razor, which may as well have been called Women Are Cold and Sick Fucks, where COLTTAINE does a brilliant analysis using the Occam's Razor principle to not only dispel any notions of the bullshit surrounding the feminine mystique, but also reveals how unflattering and frankly sick women's notions of romantic fantasy are. I mean, I've talked about my disgust at women's idea of what constitutes romantic love and the stomach-churning example of the movie Titanic in my video She Can't Love Like That, link below, and how women get perversely wet between the legs at the sight of men dying by the thousands for their pretty selves at the end of the movie.
Ah, how romantic.
But COLTTAINE, well, he took it further and showed us what should be our complete disgust in what I'd call the Titanic effect. And so after I rewatched these two videos again recently from COLTTAINE and COTERIE, something clicked and the dots connected. It suddenly occurred to me why these two phenomena in women were related. An absolute lucidity clicked into place. It was that moment that Neo had in the first Matrix movie where Morpheus says,
"To keep us under control in order to change a human being into this." No.
And this reaction that Neo has to Morpheus is the same reaction I had. That is, if the function of the Matrix is to turn a human being into a disposable battery, then what's the connection I see between COTERIE's and COLTTAINE's videos? Why do, as COTERIE mentioned, women keep pushing for this
open up, cry. I don't think you're serious about this relationship.
For more and more
open up
and
show me your vulnerability.
Well, simply to move you toward this, a sea of dead men at the end of Titanic. That is, you dying for her. COTERIE's video was describing the Matrix, the push and control by women for more, and COLTTAINE's video was describing the battery, That is the stark reality of what the female matrix sees you as. She wants you so weak, so in love, and forgetting yourself that you'll do anything for her. So you'll go from vulnerable to sacrificial animal for her. So you'll die for her. Let that sink in, guys. Yeah, exactly. Does the red pill taste like ambrosia yet, gentlemen? If you're a recovering alcoholic, does the red pill seem like a tasty and satisfying bottle of scotch yet to you? It fucking should. You know, this reveal can lead us to other questions too. For example, is the utter complacency at men's deaths in war, the workplace, and in general such a generalised non-issue to women because many women, upon hearing of the high suicide rate of men, for instance, fetishistically whisper to themselves,
I wonder if he killed himself over a woman.
Which also leads to the primal and distal question, what is the fundamental difference between romantic love and chivalry, which leads to the ultimate sacrifice of a man where he jumps into freezing water and dies instantly so that she can survive on his behalf? How does it differ at all in principle to a man jumping into romantic love, commitment, marriage and kids over the slow death, not the instantaneous one, but the slow death over the course of his lifetime so that she can again survive on his behalf? What is the fucking difference? What is the fundamental difference between a woman saying she finds it hot that a man dies for her, or a man saying, I love snuff films where a woman dies for me? What is the fucking difference, figuratively speaking? And look, I know it's not conscious on women's part, I know. But understand, gentlemen, you are consciously pushed by women to open up, to be euphorically vulnerable, to lose yourself in her, romantically speaking, until there's nothing left of you. So that your instinct is to unquestionably live only for her and subsequently die for her. She's tickled by the romantic notion that you're possibly only one heroic decision away from saying, "Save yourself, honey," as she gets on the lifeboats and you're left behind to freeze to death. So the next time your girlfriend or wife asks,
Would you die for me?
with a neotenous grin, ask yourself, would you even think of asking such a question to the woman you loved, let alone getting excited by it? Her perverse romantic mind is grooming you for suicide, for her. Let that hit you like religion, gentlemen. Go your own way. Later.